Hello and welcome back. We are continuing on with critical reflection, and you're probably ready to begin critically reflecting. And the place we have to start at is we have to figure out what exactly we're going to be reflecting on. And so, of course, that is the first criteria in the framework, the what. And so we need to know what we're going to reflect on before we can do any type of critical reflection. So for this what, the first thing we have to do is identify some kind of specific and tangible key experience. So I mentioned in the intro video that critical reflection is not storytelling. So we have to figure out some specific thing that has happened that you're going to reflect upon. Now, this has to be something specific enough that you are the only person that can have experienced this in this way. So we've got some kind of tangible experience. From this, we can reflect, so what? Why is that important? And then now what? What are we going to do afterwards? And so it's really the so what and now what that is critical reflection, but we can't do this without the what. Now, the what part can be kind of challenging, so sometimes it can be helpful to have prompts to help identify this key experience. Now, these might be some type of reflection prompt that's provided to you in advance, depending on how you're reflecting and in what context. Or if you're just trying to reflect on some experiences that you've had, we'll help you out with that in just a second. So I kind of alluded to this, but when you're figuring out what your what is, if someone else has had the same experience that you've detailed, if you and someone else has written the same thing, you need to be more specific. Um, if it's too general, if it's too vague, you won't be able to get deep enough with the so what and the now what. So getting started is often the hardest part, especially if you don't have any type of prompts. So we're going to do a really quick warm-up exercise now to help you start reflecting on an experience. I'm going to keep going with the video, but I encourage you to pause the video and do the steps. And then we can move forward throughout the video. So the first thing, take a couple minutes to brainstorm and record all of the most memorable aspects of some experience. Don't overthink it. Just write things down. What do you remember? This can kind of be that storytelling part. And then afterwards, you'll sort through it and find what's most important. So write down what you remember, what happened, what did you do? What did other people do? What did you feel? What were the outcomes? So after you've had a moment to do that, take a couple minutes to make connections or to categorize these memorable aspects. How do these aspects fit together? Are there different things, different parts of this experience that relate to the other? Did some aspects lead to other aspects? This will help you with the last part here, which is to try to uncover meaning. Once you have your ideas grouped together, do any interesting questions arise? Is there anywhere you can dig deeper? That's what we're looking for. Once you find something, and hopefully by now you've got a few concepts that are kind of interesting to you and make sense, that's going to be your what. So let's get into some nitty gritties of the what. The key for what here is to be concise. You need to identify these important aspects. This isn't only for other people who are reading your reflection, but this is also in your own brain and understanding what is truly the important details of the experience that you're going to learn from. So as you detail this, organize your experience in a chronological fashion. Oftentimes knowing what happened in a certain order is very important. So having things in order, distinguish the most important aspect, be very, very specific about what this is. This will make your so what and now what that much easier. You'll need to go through and kind of revise this. It's a bit of a process, but make sure you're removing all distracting information. This is helpful if someone else is reading your reflection, but again, as I mentioned, it's helpful for you as well. So a couple tips here. Your reflection should be less than a page. When you get skilled at reflection, they become shorter, not longer, because you're able to be more concise. Review at the end, after you've gone through, even after you've done your so what and now what, to remove anything that's not useful. You might also be coming back to your what after you've done your so what and your now what, because you might actually see that there were something important that you didn't think of when you first identified what you're going to reflect on. So the secret: for each criteria, explain how and why the experience is relevant to your learning. So if you, whatever it is that you've identified as your what, there should be some learning that's come from it. And of course, keep practicing this. As you keep practicing these reflection techniques, you'll be able to do them in your head, on the go, while you're on the bus, as an event is happening. You won't necessarily need to sit down and write out a lengthy reflection. So by now, you're probably ready to move on to one of the next reflection criteria. So you can get to them directly from these links right here. So we'll see you over there once you're ready. Thank you very much.